You've been at these practices for a couple weeks now. Where's the biggest area of progress that you're seeing so far, or what have been your areas of focus in the teaching?
Well, we're just basically trying to teach them how to play. You know, we break down some of the things maybe offensively that we're going to do, and put them in 2-on-2, 3-on-3 situations. We do a lot of one-on-one stuff, footwork, just to try to get a feel. But the nice thing is we got a lot of people coming back, and that you can really see a difference in the freshmen that have been here. You know, Keith and Sterling and Ben. Keith missed all of it last year. You know, he didn't get into school right away. But Ben, Sterling, and Keith, and you know, it seems like they're much more comfortable. They don't have to think as much. And going around the country, I asked a lot of the coaches, you know, that have been in college a lot longer than me, and they all say the biggest jump usually is from your freshman to your sophomore year, or if it's a junior college kid, it's second year. So that's been good. And then we never get away from doing our shell stuff on defense, because at the end of the day, rebounding and defending has to be what you count on.
Because of these summer practices and the fact that Keith didn't have them last year, does that give you reason to expect an even bigger leap from him because he gets these extra teaching sessions with you?
Yeah, he comes to every workout. His energy level is way up, and yeah, he missed. You know, it's like a baseball player missing spring training, or a football player missing, you know, those optional workouts, they call them, you know, or in the NBA, a guy a rookie not signing early and missing all the, you know, summer, preseason. It's amazing, but when you have a good attitude and you want to be great and you want to get better, it really makes a difference. And those kids, I haven't found one guy that really is not approaching it the right way, but the opportunity for Keith is greater than anybody because he missed out on all this.
A lot of times you hear coaches say that it takes a few years to fully implement a system. Are you adding new layers, new wrinkles to your systems, or are you simply perfecting what you've been teaching the first couple of years here?
I don't know. You always try to figure out what you did well and what you need to do better. But you know, I'm lucky. I have Tim and such a great staff. So you know, everybody's watches and gives ideas on how we can get better. And I think, you know, my job is to process that and then feel comfortable teaching it. But you know, as you move along in a program, the older guys teach the young guys how to do things. And then when that happens, it seems like you can add more things. But we can't lose sight of the fact that we got to do what we do best really good. And then if we get that down, then we can add. Defensively, you know, we're going to try to add more things, maybe trap a little bit more, maybe go a little bit more full court, maybe play zone a little bit because we're going to play against a lot of zones. So I think if you have a good zone to practice against, it helps. But again, for us, it's playing hard, defending, rebounding, and sharing the ball. That's really what we gotta emphasize, and it starts every morning at every practice.
Speaking of the older guys, how's Shawn adjusting to being a coach now instead of a player, and how is your relationship with him different, or the players' relationships different?
I don't know. You know, you'd have to ask him about how the players are, but you know, this is one of the best things, you know, for our program and for me personally, is to have a kid that played for you, that wants to be a coach, that has all the qualities to be a great coach on your staff. my relationship hadn't changed much at all. I've always admired and respected him, and I'm just thrilled he's with us, and he's jumped right in. You know, he's here early and stays late, wants to learn. And the nice thing, you don't have to tell him to do anything. You know, he's already motivated to do things that he thinks needs to get done.
With last week's announcement, obviously the depth changes at point guard, and as competitive as Nic is, you've said many times you don't want him to go 40 minutes a night. Who shares the backup point guard minutes behind Nic?
Well, we have, you know, Ryan's played it, and then we got to find a third guy. You know, I think Ben could be a point guard, believe it or not. Because, you know, when you're 6'8", if you had to bring it up the court against a little guy, it'd be tough. But they're usually going to have a bigger guy guarding him, and he's a great dribbler. He can bring it down the court against most people. He's as good a ball handler as we have, so he might be forced to do it. You know, Keith did a little in high school. Sterling might have the ability to do a little bit. We'll figure it out. You know, the one nice thing is I think all our guys can handle the ball. Our bigs, you know, Markus, you know, can handle it. Jordan, Yannick a little bit. So, you know, we can break pressure in a number of different ways. But you're right, Nic can't play 40 minutes. Some games he gets in foul trouble. And in order to defend the way we want to defend, there's no way he can play 40 minutes, you know. So defense starts with your point guard, and we have to realize we got to get Ryan ready, and I'm pretty confident he can do it.
A lot of times you see guys in different sports who like to sort of play around at other positions. Is Ben one of those guys who secretly thinks he'd like to be a point guard? I mean, is he chomping at the bit at this idea?
I don't know what he secretly thinks. I mean, he can just play.
They're coming.
His biggest problem is the coach got to figure out how to use him. You know, but I love the fact that he's so skilled. I love the fact that he's coachable, and he's the kind of kid that wants to do anything to help you win. But you know, I had Danny Manning when I was at Kansas. Now, I'm not going to say Ben's Danny Manning, but, you know, Ben has the ability, like Danny, to get it up the court against bigger people. Danny did that, and I've had, you know, when I was a young coach in the ABA, I had a kid named Bobby Wilson, who was almost 6'8", played for Bobby Knight. He ran the point for me when I had David Thompson playing with him. We did really well. So I had a kid named Ralph Simpson that never played point guard from Michigan State, and played point guard for me and did great. I think one year he had 600 assists, over 600 rebounds, and over 1,000 points. And I don't know of anybody in the NBA that, you know, other than guys like Magic and LeBron that did that at that time. So we got guys like that.
So much was made last year about Markus Kennedy's improved conditioning from his transfer year to last year, and obviously the success that he enjoyed last year. He said that he's lost even more weight since the end of the year. How do you see his game taking the next leap going into this season?
Well, when he goes home, he has a tendency to get a little heavy, but he's working hard. If he's in great shape, he could be as good a big man as there is around, because he has the skills, knows how to play, and I think he really seems motivated. He's been great at practice. He's worked really hard, and you know, when you're not in great shape, you're never able to play as well as you're capable. It's a simple fact, and you know, if we want to really be good, we're going to have to be in better shape than everybody. We have great depth. We want to play fast, and when you got a big guy that can run and is in great shape, it makes your break so much better. You know, if we can get him up the floor quickly and before the defense gets set. You know, he's hard to guard. So I'm pretty confident that he'll figure it out.